Welcome to Finland Oman School. My name is Terhi Merenski, the principal here. We are going to take you for a tour at FOS.
I believe that the primary level is an integral part of a child's learning path, and I'm confident that with our wonderful teachers, all of our staff, and our students and families, we can grow our children into lifelong learners.
As a parent, I have to say, when I was searching for a school for our son, I saw the Finland Oman school, and of course we know Finland as a very good education system. And when we came here, we liked very much that we have well-trained teachers, they're taking care of the children, the environment is very safe, and it's a nice place to be. And of course, if you see the slide, if you come in the hall, it's like you want to slide. Even if you are 51, you like to slide.
Greetings from Finland Oman School. Let's try this again and hope you can hear me as well this time. We'll make sure that everyone can hear me before we start our info session. I think still some problems with the sound. Okay. Now you should all be able to hear me. Sorry for the delay. And we'll start from the beginning, from the top again, to make sure you didn't miss any of the vital information we're going to provide for you for tonight. I am here now at our beautiful Learning Resource Center, our library. And some of you were kind enough to send us questions in advance. And one of the most asked questions was where we are actually located. So I'm here now at the Finland Oman School. We are located on the same campus as the University of German Technology. So it's right off Muscat Expressway in Handson, Muscat. Today I will be glad to show you all of our beautiful facilities in the school. I will quickly go through the Finnish education system, what makes us special, and also in Finland and here at Finland Oman School. I will showcase our facilities and explain why they are important for the learning and teaching we do here at FOS. First of all, the most asked question I probably hear when I teach abroad and when I visit different schools is what makes Finnish education the best in the world? And there is no recipe for Finnish education. There's no secrets really. But there are some things that I feel that are most important and that stand out while you're putting Finnish education in the smaller pieces. One of the main things is that our teachers are highly educated. All of the Finnish teachers have a master's degree, either in education for classroom teachers or in the subject they are teaching for subject teachers. Finnish teachers have a very high level of autonomy. So basically they will, of course, follow the national curriculum, but they will build the curriculum within their own class in a way that it follows their strong suits as a teacher, and also that it follows the student's interest, and it really emphasizes the student-centered learning and teaching as well. What we aim for in the Finnish system is that it is lifelong learning that we're looking for. We don't want to prepare our students only for tests. We don't want to prepare them for tomorrow, the next week, the next month. We want to make sure that we're building active citizens that are prepared for anything, future jobs. You know, right now we're educating children for jobs that don't even exist yet. So we want to make sure that they have the skill set in the future to be able to do any kind of job and to become lifelong learners, and they will have the skills to do that and to keep on learning all throughout their life. And that is also why our education is very research and evidence-based. We have very good universities in Finland with faculties of education, and we have university schools. So whenever, for example, we're renewing our curriculum in Finland, like we did a couple years ago, it is always based on research, based on university research, and that is the only way you can make any changes for the national curriculum and then for any things we decide to use in the classroom. We have a beautiful school here in Muscat, and we're going to show you the facilities today and show you how they are connected to our learning. And firstly, I would like to show you our classroom, so you can have a look at what a typical classroom in Finland Oman School looks like. Welcome to Finland Oman School classrooms. Here you can see grade 2 as our example classroom. And as you can see, all of our desks and chairs are movable to allow us to do flexible grouping. Obviously, still we're following the safety measures, but normally depending on the objective and the agenda of the lesson and the day, we might have them seating in pairs, in groups, to be able to do different kind of things with the class. Our pinboards usually start off subject-based, but because we want our teaching and learning to be student-centered and student-led, slowly we start building the curriculum based on the students' interest and make sure once they start producing their work that it's all displayed in the classroom and all visible so they can see and document their own learning as well. As we know, for young learners, they cannot sit down for the whole day, or even as adults we know we cannot sit down for 8 hours. So we want to make sure that they're moving. We're utilizing all the facilities around the school. One of our favorites is usually to do station work. We might have the students' names here. We might group them in the different stations and then use the hallways, outdoor facilities, play corners, and all of that to deliver the lessons. So there you saw an example of our grade 2 classroom. And shortly I will explain a little bit more on our active and hands-on learning. But first I would like to tell you the story of how and why Finnish education was chosen to be started here in Oman. So the founders of Finland Oman School, they wanted to bring the best education system in the world to Oman. And they went to see different schools around the world. They visited Asia, Europe, different kind of schools. And finally, once they got to Finland, they saw laughing students on the hallways. They saw that students loved to learn. In fact, they were hoping themselves that they could be students in Finnish schools again. They saw happy faces, and they saw that the students were motivated to learn. They loved coming to school every day, and it was not something bad for them. It was something that gave them a rhythm to their everyday life. And as many of you know, many of you have a very excellent knowledge on the Finnish system already. It's not only that students love to come to school, it's also that we do very well on international testing. For example, the PISA test results, and Finland as a country has often ranked very high on those test results. And this is not due to very long school hours, this is not due to 8 hours of school every day and then going to private tutors. Actually, the school days in Finland are some of the shortest in the world. For example, in grade 1, it might be 3 to 5 hours only. And then there is homework. I know some of you have heard the rumor that there's no homework in Finland, but it's very limited homework. It's mostly repetition of what they have already learned in school. And then they make sure the learning happens when they repeat this at home. But like I mentioned, the students are happy, and we wanted to bring that here. The founders wanted to bring it, and we wanted to bring it here with us, with the teachers. We wanted to make sure that the students are doing well. Student well-being is our #1 priority. We feel that students cannot learn unless they are happy, unless they feel heard, unless they feel confident. And only when they're doing well, then they can begin to learn within the school. So for us, learning is supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be hands-on. It's supposed to be active. When you come visit the school, you will see student groups all around the school, not only in the classrooms. They go around, they explore, and they have the chance to learn around the topics that interest them, and not only on the topics that have been pre-designed to them by the curriculum. And of course, we are located here on the university campus, so not only the school is our learning environment, but the whole campus. So we used outdoor facilities a lot. We take the kids out. We believe that once they learn what they can see, then they come back to the classroom and put this knowledge on paper and in books. Here at Finland Oman School, we have very nice outdoor facilities as well. We have our sports hall, our swimming pool, and our playgrounds. And next, I would like to show you a little small clip of our playground and explain how learning can happen there as well. Here's one of our playgrounds at Finland Oman School. Here, the playgrounds, the sports facilities, and all the outdoor facilities play a big part in our learning. We want to make sure that the students are getting enough exercise, enough brain breaks to ensure that they can learn also in the classroom. And like we said before, the whole campus is our learning environment. Our learning doesn't limit only the classroom or only the school spaces. Basically, the whole campus, the whole city, the country, and the world is our learning environment. So we might do a lot of stations here. We might use it for breaks, playtime, but also many times our lessons actually happen outside. When the weather is nicer, we might bring our math books and just do the whole math lesson outside. We might do station work, orienteering, or all around the campus. And as we like to say here at FOS, learning, it happens everywhere. So there you saw a small clip of the playground, which is often used for our station work. You'll see students running around, hunting for hidden sentences that they then use to be put into their notebook and to practice spelling, to practice science terms, whatever our creative teachers can come up with. Usually when I talk about active and hands-on learning, I like to use the example of a young child. When we're thinking of even a young baby, a toddler, how they learn to walk and talk. Now, it's not learned from a book, it's learned through trial and error. They observe the world around us. Slowly they start first saying wrong words, start babbling, and then slowly they learn to talk, and they learn to walk, and they don't give up. And this is what we want to instill in older students as well. All of us, we've learned how to walk, and we tried and tried, we never gave up. We kept on coming up the floor and giving it another chance, no matter how long it took. And that's where the secret to motivation lies as well. We believe in inner motivation for the students. We believe that when students are agents of their own learning, then they achieve the best learning results as well. So for example, when we have a topic in math, in English, in science, we might ask the students what they are interested in, whatever it might be, dinosaurs or space, or what they want to learn more about. And then we can use these topics that the students bring forward in our own learning as well. So we can use them to learn about math, we can use them to learn about Arabic, science, and kind of circle everything around the same topic. And also it has to be active. We don't want to have the students sit down for 8 hours a day. Even as adults, we know that this is not the way to learn. We want to make sure that they test it, they see it with their own eyes. And usually we even prefer, for example, in science, that they would see the phenomena first, and then after that, they would add on the theory, and they would understand what happened and how it is explained in scientific terms. So let's have a look at our chemistry lab, and you will see in action how we could teach them a certain scientific phenomena. Welcome to our chemistry lab. Here at Finland Oman School, we have 3 different labs. We have our chemistry lab, our physics, and our biology lab. This is to ensure that all of our science subjects are phenomena-based, whereas we would usually start with the phenomena, let the students explore and see what happens, and then later we would add on the theory to make sure that they understand the connection between the theory and the experiment. This is one of my favorite experiments, and usually the students as well. To make sure that we're learning all kind of different things. Now, if anything were to go wrong during our experiments, we always make sure that our labs are safely equipped. We have our first aid kits, as well as our safety shower for eyes and body. And here you saw an example in our chemistry lab with the teachers in action. About our curriculum, we follow the best Finnish practices, and it is blended with the Omani bilingual curriculum. And even in the secondary school, we use the bilingual curriculum. But at this point, we are in a very exciting phase in our secondary school, as we are building a completely and fully Finnish high school model, then that would follow fully the Finnish curriculum as well. Now many of you asked us about our typical school day for a student in Finland Oman School, and about the timetable and the length of the lessons. So I will tell you a little bit about that. So our normal school day is from 7:30 to 2:30. And we want to make sure that the whole school day is balanced for the child. As I mentioned before, we want to have a balance between the academic and non-academic subjects. So for example, the child might come to school at 7:30. They would start their day with a double English lesson. Then they would have PE in the middle. Then they would have double Arabic, and end the day, for example, with a music lesson. Now, it's not only lessons we have plenty of breaks. Our normal lesson lasts 55 minutes, but even during the lesson, we want to make sure we're incorporating breaks. We usually call them brain breaks. So when they are doing math work, for example, every time they finish one assignment, they get to go out in the hallway. They get to practice their timetables there by doing star jumps, X jumps, and making sure they're getting enough exercise and enough brain breaks to keep their brain up and running throughout the day. And that is also the main reason why we'd like to balance out our academic subjects with music, with art, with PE, ICT, life skills, and all of these more hands-on subjects where they get to move and learn around. And then we have breakfast and lunch provided by the school every day. Still currently, of course, following all the safety precautions we will follow because of the pandemic. Our canteen is still closed, but we always emphasize that the students need healthy, plain food. We are a sugar and nut-free school, so we want to make sure we're offering our kids the best kind of nutrients to make sure that their diet and their food is also supporting their learning. And these mealtime breaks are then combined with the outdoor playtime, with recesses, and with different things to make sure that then when the student comes back to the classroom, they are again ready to learn. I mentioned earlier about homework. I know some people around the world have heard the rumor that Finland doesn't have homework, which is not true. But we do want to make sure that most of the learning happens during the school hours, and this is also when this child learns the best. Usually we know that during the day we are alert, we have the capacity to learn, we have the motivation to learn, and by the time they reach home at night, they're already tired, they need a break, they need to play. And also I know some of the parents are tired after their working day, so we want to make sure that they can have quality time with their families. Instead of doing 2 hours of homework, they can go out to the park, out to the beach with their children, and that's really the best way they can support our work here at the school. And to show you an example of our non-academic subjects, we'll now have a quick look in our music classroom. Let's go have a look in our music classroom. Here you can meet Miss Do, our music teacher. Here at Finland Oman School, we want to make sure that our academic subjects are balanced with our non-academic subjects, such as music, art, PE, life skills, and home economics. This means that the student might start their day with the double lesson of English, then they might have a music lesson, they might have double Arabic, and then finish their day with the PE lesson. Music and drama are integrated together here at our school to make sure that the students build their self-confidence, they build their public speaking skills and overall performance to make sure that they're growing not only as learners, but also as 21st century citizens. Even me, when I'm looking at these clips or doing a tour of the school facilities, it really makes me wish that I was a student again and I would get to study in our school. And one of the highest selling points usually for kids when they come tour to school is also that we have a huge, giant green slide in the lobby. This is usually the first things that children and parents see when they come to school. And this, again, gives you an option of, instead of walking down the stairs, you'll get the slide down the stairs and head on to your next lesson for the day. In the music classroom, you could see our music facilities and our lovely music teacher. And it was a great example also of how we support the transversal competencies here within our curriculum. And one way for us of doing that is that we have 6 different focus groups that are run by our teachers, and they're based on the specialities and the strengths of each teacher. So we have a focus group called Joy of Reading, sorry. So we want to encourage the students to become readers, not only in school and not only for learning, but that they read in their free time as well, and that as teachers and as parents, we model reading for them, and we want to make sure that they enjoy it and they really become lifelong learners through reading as well. Then we have our Go Green team, which supports environmentalism. They organize, for example, beach cleanups. They celebrate World Water Day. And previously, they've always measured the bio-waste in our cafeteria, in our canteen, to encourage students to finish what's on their plates and to encourage them to keep up with the green thinking also at home. And sometimes we have our students go home, they've learned something in school, and then they start telling their parents, their moms and dads and their siblings that you shouldn't waste food and don't leave the tap running, and always make sure that you close the lights when you leave a room or close the AC, for example. Then we have a Finnish program called Kiva, which is our anti-bullying program. And these Kiva lessons are also incorporated into our curriculum. So we learn about emotions, about social skills, also in the classroom. And then the program enables us to interact if there's any worries within peers, within classrooms, to make sure that our school does not allow bullying in any form. Then we have our School on the Move focus group. Like I mentioned before, we believe that students have to get enough exercise, enough brain breaks to make sure they're learning throughout the day. So our School on the Move group makes sure of that. They are providing tips for active learning for teachers to do in their classrooms. They provide sporting events, ideas for breaks. For example, last year they organized the UNICEF walk, like a charity walk where students would walk here at school and at home to actually raise money for charity while they were doing that. Then we have our entrepreneurship group that again supports those transversal competencies. It supports students becoming agents of their own learning. If they have some interest, how they could use those interests to build something that would help them also in the future. For example, we've had students who have created baking shops on Instagram after they realized that they loved baking and they wanted to turn this into a small business for themselves. And then, of course, we have our student council. Each class from grade 1 up to grade 11, which we are opening this year, will have a representative in the student council. And that way, we're making sure, again, that we're listening to our students, that the teaching and the free time here at school is student-centered. So our student council will gather ideas from the classrooms, from the kids themselves, asking them what things they want to improve in the school, what new materials they want to be bought, and what kind of fun, kind of theme days they might like to have in the school. For example, previous years, they voted that they want to have a pizza day in the school. So we had a combined character and pizza day where kids would dress up, and then we would have pizza for lunch. And this was all organized and provided by the student council. Talking of the transversal competencies and these skills in our curriculum, also we always like to mention that Finland is the leader in providing future skills. So future skills education is very important in this day and age where our world around us is developing all the time. And like I said before, we want to make sure that our students that graduate from this school will be prepared to do any job, any kind of profession, even though it may not have been invented yet. All of these focus groups and some of our subjects as well are also benefiting from all the facilities around the school. One subject that is very special for our school is home economics. So the students actually in the school, they learn how to bake, they learn how to cook. We even have sewing machines for crafts for the students to practice on, as these are very important everyday life skills that also schools should be part in teaching. So the whole responsibility is not only at home with the parents and families. So let's have a quick look at our home economics room where all of this learning how to bake and cook happens. Welcome to our home economics classroom. Here is where we teach not only home economics as a subject, but also we use it for a number of subjects and our transversal skills. Here, for example, you can see our sewing machines that we use for arts and crafts. Then all of the kitchen facilities, we might use them for baking, cooking, food arts, or for example, even a science lesson. If grade 2 is learning about heating and cooling, we might do our popcorn and ice experiments here in the home economics room. So that was one of our special facilities here at Finland Oman School. Like you've seen today, all around the school, we have different facilities that really mainly support the idea that learning is not limited to the classroom. As we say here, learning happens everywhere. And I hope you benefit from this idea also at home. You know, when you're cooking, the kids can help you with the measuring. They can help learn concepts from science, from measuring in math. And when you go around the city, when you go around the world, we always know that the kids are usually the most observant ones. and they'll keep asking you those questions. So I hope together with your kids you take the chance to look around the world, observe and inquire, and keep a curious and open mind to enable learning all through the kids' lives. I want to thank you for joining me today. I hope you learned something new about the Finnish school system and Finnish education. And if you have any additional questions, please refer to our website. Our school administration is always happy to help you with any inquiries. And come visit the school so you can learn how the learning and teaching is done here at Finland Oman School, and you can witness with your own eyes how learning, it truly happens everywhere.